Hi guys and welcome back. I hope you all are doing great. The topic that we are going to understand today is Pythagoras Theorem. Now, this is the beginning of trigonometry, a branch of mathematics that deals with right angle triangles, their lengths, their angles, etc. So, what is a right angle triangle? If there is any triangle that has a 90-degree angle in it, the triangle is known as right angled triangle. Now, what is a Pythagoras theorem? What does Pythagoras theorem state? Suppose I have a right angle triangle. Let's say this is length A, this is length B, and this is length C. The length opposite to 90-degree angle is called hypotenuse. Sorry. The length opposite to 90-degree angle is called hypotenuse, and this is the longest length in a right angle triangle. So, of these three lengths, this length opposite to 90-degree hypotenuse is the longest length of a right angle triangle. Now, the theorem says that if I have a length C, hypotenuse, if I square this length, this is equivalent to A square plus B square. अगर मेरे पास हाइपोटेनस है विच मीन्स एक 90 डिग्री एंगल है जिसके ऑपोजिट हाइपोटेनस है, दैट मीन्स हाइपोटेनस लेंथ का स्क्वायर इज इक्विवेलेंट टू इस लेंथ का स्क्वायर प्लस इस लेंथ का स्क्वायर, ए स्क्वायर प्लस बी स्क्वायर. दिस इज द फॉर्मूला दैट इज कॉल्ड Pythagoras theorem. Now, at many places आपने इस फॉर्मूला को एक अलग तरीके से लिखे हुए देखा होगा, and we always say h square is equals to p square plus b square. Hypotenuse square is equals to perpendicular square plus b square, base square, sorry, not b square, base square. Now, this is a widely used error and it is also widely accepted error, which means कि ये error तो है but it is widely accepted. और उसकी reason क्या है why it is an error? Because इस triangle में this length is perpendicular और this length is perpendicular, this length is base और this length is base. मैं इसको decide खुद नहीं कर सकता. So I cannot say which one is perpendicular and which one is base because ये मेरा काम नहीं है. Whenever I select an angle, that decides कि कौन सी लेंथ मेरी perpendicular होगी और कौन सी लेंथ base होगी. Suppose I select this angle. If I select this angle, the length opposite to this angle is called perpendicular, and the length adjacent to this angle is called base. Similarly, अगर मैं ये एंगल सेलेक्ट कर लूं, then line, the length opposite to this angle, ये वाली length is called perpendicular, and this length adjacent is called base. So you see, एंगल जब मैं सेलेक्ट करता हूं ये वाला तो परपेंडिकुलर कुछ और है, बेस कुछ और है, एंड व्हेन आई सेलेक्ट दिस एंगल तो परपेंडिकुलर कुछ और है, बेस कुछ और हो जाता है. दैट इज व्हाई जब तक एंगल इंट्रोड्यूस ना हो जाए वी कैन नॉट से विच लेंथ इज परपेंडिकुलर एंड विच लेंथ इज बेस. देन व्हाई इज इट अ वाइडली एक्सेप्टेड एरर? ये एक्सेप्ट क्यों किया जाता है? बिकॉज it is an addition. This is an addition. Suppose I say 3, perpendicular is 3 and base is 4. What do I get? Suppose 7. What if I interchange it? Let's say I say 4 is perpendicular and 3 is base. Again, I am getting 7, which means the answer, the end result does not change. So अगर मैं perpendicular को base कह दूं या base को perpendicular कह दूं, तो इससे कोई ज़्यादा effect नहीं होना answer पे, final answer पे. But you should remember that the actual formula, the actual Pythagoras theorem is c squared, this is length, squared is equals to this length squared plus this length squared. This is the formula that we should be using in every question that we practice. Now, if you are using this formula, it is okay. It is completely okay because इससे कोई problem नहीं होगा and it will not affect your answers and it is widely accepted, so it's okay. Now, I hope Pythagoras theorem is now clear to you. So, according to Pythagoras theorem, c square, this length, hypotenuse squared, is equals to a square plus b square. I hope it is clear. Okay, so now let's practice some questions related to Pythagoras theorem. Now, as you can see, I have a right angle triangle because it has a right angle in it. So this is a right angle triangle. Now, in this case, this length opposite to 90 degree is the longest length and it is called hypotenuse, right? So we can apply Pythagoras theorem to find out the value of hypotenuse in this case. According to formula, this length squared is equals to this length squared plus this length squared, that is AB squared plus BC squared. Now, AC is A square, AB square is 10 centimeter, 10 square, and BC square is 12 square. So, A square is equals to 100 plus 144. A square is equals to 244. To find out the value of A, I need to apply square root on both sides. So A is equals to under root 244 is equals to 15.62 centimeter. This is 15.62 centimeter. Now, you need to understand one thing. आपका क्वेश्चन ये जरूर हो सकता है कि जी अंडर रूट जब भी लिया जाता है तो वी गेट टू वैल्यूज, अ पॉजिटिव वैल्यू एंड अ नेगेटिव वैल्यू. In trigonometry, this is not true. Why? Because in trigonometry, what is this AB, this BC and this AC? These are lengths. Now, lengths cannot be in negative. आप ये तो कह सकते हैं 10 सेंटीमीटर, 12 सेंटीमीटर. हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल कि आप कहेंगे कि जी इस चीज की लेंथ -10 सेंटीमीटर है, -20 सेंटीमीटर है. सो ट्रिग्नोमेट्री में स्क्वायर रूट में सिर्फ पॉजिटिव आंसर आता है, इट्स एन एक्सेप्शन. अदरवाइज स्क्वायर रूट का आंसर हमेशा प्लस माइनस दो आंसर्स आते हैं. वी गेट टू वैल्यूज. आई होप ये बात समझ में आई है. नाउ again, triangle PQR is a right angle triangle, which means length opposite to this 90 degree is a hypotenuse. See, it is important कि आप hypotenuse को identify करें अपने right angle triangle में. This is the first thing, this is the most important thing that you should do. According to the theorem, PR, that is hypotenuse square, is equals to PQ plus QR square plus QR square. Now, PR square in this case is B square, that is equals to 15 square plus 20 square. Now, B square is equals to 225 plus 400, 625. Now, in order to find out the value of B, I must apply square root on both sides. So, B square is equals to square root of 625. square root 625 is 25. Again, the units are centimeter, so B is 25 centimeter. This is 25 centimeter. See, 15, 20, and the longest 25 centimeter. Now, let's see here. Again, it is a right angle triangle. First, we need to identify the hypotenuse. This length opposite to 90-degree angle is hypotenuse, that is C. Now, according to formula, SU square is equals to ST square plus TU square. SU square in this case is C square is equals to ST square is 12 square plus 8 square. Again, C square is equals to 144 plus 8 is 64. That makes it 144 plus 64 is 208. Now, in order to find out the value of C, I need to apply square root on both sides. So, we get the value of C as 14.42 centimeter. Remember one thing, in case the units are meter, the final answer will be in meter. In case the units are in centimeter, the final answer will be in centimeter. In case the units are in millimeter, the answer will be in millimeter. Now, I hope hypotenuse को identify करके, theorem apply करके, missing length को find out करना आपको आ गया होगा. We'll practice some more questions. In other questions, we are going to find out other lengths except hypotenuse. हम hypotenuse given होगा और उसके बाद हम दूसरी lengths को find out करेंगे. Let's see how it is done. Okay, now in this case again we have a right angle triangle, so the length opposite to right angle is hypotenuse. See, this is very important. You have to identify which length is hypotenuse because equals to के एक तरफ उस length को रखना है. So it is very important that we identify which length is hypotenuse. Now, this is hypotenuse, so we can say according to Pythagoras theorem, AC square is equals to AB square plus BC square. Now, AC square is 20 square, AB square we have to find out, so we are going to, because यहाँ पे ABC कोई unknown नहीं दिया हुआ, so we will use the name of the length, that is AB square plus BC square is 10 square. Now, 20 square is 400. This 10 square is equals to AB square plus 100. This 100 will go on the other side of equals to sign. It is plus 100. On the other side, it is going to be minus 100. Is equals to AB square. Now, this is 300 is equals to AB square. In order to find out the value of AB, I need to apply square root on both the sides so that square is removed. As we discussed earlier, square cancels square root cancels square. So, I will apply square root on both sides. This will cancel square root, and under root 300 is 17.32. The length of AB is 17.32. Now, the units being used are meter, so the answer will also be in meter. Similarly, in this case, again, it is a right angle triangle. So, we will identify which length is hypotenuse. Now, we are going to apply Pythagoras theorem that says PR square, hypotenuse square, is equals to PQ square plus QR square. PR square is 15 square is equals to PQ is 8 square plus QR. As there is no name given, no unknown given, so we will use the length name QR square. Name of the length, that is QR square. अगर यहाँ पर मेरे पास B, C, A कुछ दिया होता तो मैं उसको यहाँ पे replace कर देता. But in this case we don't have it, so we are going to use QR square as it is. Now, 15 square is 225 is equals to 8 8 is 64 plus QR square. We are going to take this 64 on the other side of the equals to sign. That becomes minus 64 is equals to QR square. So 225 minus 64 is 161. To find out the value of QR, I'll apply square root on both sides. So under root 161 is 10.69, 12.69. And the units are meter, so I'm going to use meter here. So I hope identifying hypotenuse and then calculating the value of hypotenuse is clear, and similarly identifying hypotenuse and calculating the length, unknown length, if any of it is unknown, is now clear. अगर hypotenuse given हो, unknown length हो कोई और, तो हम कैसे find out करते हैं? This is the formula, the same theorem we are going to use. I hope it is clear. Now this is a word problem and it says a triangle ABC is right angled at B, which means triangle ABC जो है उसका 90 डिग्री का एंगल lies at B. So हम एक रैंडम फिगर ड्रॉ कर लेते हैं एक राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल की डिपिक्ट करने के लिए. दिस इज राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल, दिस इज 90 डिग्री एंड ABC इज राइट एंगल्ड एट B. सो मैं कहता हूं ये B है. अब मैं इसको A और इसको C कह देता हूं. नाउ द थिंग इज, अगर आप इसको A और इसको C कह दें, इट विल नॉट इफेक्ट एनीथिंग. यह आपके क्वेश्चन को किसी भी तरह से इफेक्ट नहीं करेगा. इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज 90 डिग्री का एंगल जो है वो कहां है? एट B. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी श्योर कि आप 90 डिग्री को B पे रखें. एक ट्राइंगल, एक साइड को A कह दीजिए, एक एंगल को, एंड द अदर एंगल इज C. ओके, नाउ इफ दिस इज अ राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल, it says length BC is 11 centimeter. Length BC is 11 centimeter. AC is 14.2 centimeter. 14.2 centimeter. Find the length of AB. We have to find out this length. As it is a right angle triangle, this is hypotenuse because it is opposite to 90 degree angle. We are going to apply Pythagoras theorem. AC square is equals to AB square plus BC square. 14.2 square, AB we have to find out, but there is no unknown mark, so we are going to write the name of the length, that is AB, as it is. AB square plus BC 11 centimeter, 11 square. Now 14.2 square is 201.64 is equals to AB square plus 11 square is 121. Now AB is supposed to be the subject. AB की वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करनी है तो उसको इक्वल्स टू के वन साइड, एक साइड पे रखना है, एंड द अदर वैल्यू 121 उसको हमें इक्वल्स टू के दूसरी तरफ लेकर जाना है. व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज 201.64 minus 121 is equals to AB square. Why? Because प्लस 121 है, इक्वल्स टू के अदर साइड पे मूव करेगा तो माइनस 121 हो जाएगा. 201.64 minus 121 is 80.64. Now, to find out the value of AB, we must apply square root on both sides. So this becomes 8.98. And the units being used are centimeters, so this is also going to be in centimeter. In this type of questions, all you have to be focused on is where is the right angle, where is the 90 degree angle. You have to be focused on that. A triangle ABC is right angled at B. If it is right angled at B, A इसको कह दे, C इसको कह दे, A इसको कह दे, C इसको कह दे, this will not affect your answer, right? I hope it is clear. Now in this question, the question says the figure shows an isosceles triangle. This is an isosceles triangle, which means these two lengths are equal. Isosceles triangle has two lengths equal. PQR is where PQ is 10 centimeter, the length of PQ is 10 centimeter. Automatically QR is also 10 centimeter. PR is also 10 centimeter because these two lengths are similar. And QR is 16 centimeter. This length QR is 16 centimeter. Point S lies on QR. Point S is QR के ऊपर कहीं पर lie करता है, such that it is perpendicular to QR. In a sense कि वो एक perpendicular draw कर रहा है and connects to point P. Point P पे connect करता है perpendicularly. This is point S. Find the length of PS. इस PS की length find out करनी है. Now you need to understand this thing. As it is an isosceles triangle and this is a perpendicular bisector. एक perpendicular bisector है जो equally इस पूरी length को half में divide कर रहा है. That means this becomes 8 centimeter and this also becomes 8 centimeter. As it is a perpendicular, that means it is also 90 degrees. Now we have to find out the value of PS. We can use any of this triangle because there are two right angle triangles, triangle 1 and triangle 2. Both have a 90 degree angle. That makes both of them a right angle triangle. Now we can use any of them to find out the value of PS. Suppose we use this triangle. This is 90 degree. That makes this PR, hypotenuse. So according to the formula, according to the theorem, PR square is equals to PS square plus SR or RS square. Right? This is hypotenuse. So this squared is equals to this squared plus this squared, right? We have to find out the value of PS. Now PR is 10 square is equals to PS is, we have to find out the value of PS. RS, this is equals to 8 square. 10 square is 100, PS square plus 8 is 64. Now taking that 64 on the other side of the equals to sign, we get 100 minus 64, that is 36, is equals to PS square. Now we have to find out the value of PS. So we have to apply square root on both sides. 6 6 are 36. So this is 6 centimeter is equals to PS. Now I hope this is clear. Now this question is an application of Pythagoras theorem. What do I mean when I say application? Application means it has some real world connection. कोई real world से related कोई चीज होगी तो उसको हम application कहेंगे, right? A rectangular swimming pool has a length of 50 meter. A rectangular swimming pool. एक rectangular swimming pool है. Let's make a rectangle. It has a length of 50 meter. The length is 50 meter. Similarly, this is also going to be 50 meter. And it has a breadth of 20 meter. This is going to be 20 meter. Similarly, this is also going to be 20 meter as it is a rectangle. These two lengths are equal and these two lengths are also equal. A swimmer has to swim diagonally. Diagonally means from one corner to the other corner like this. Similarly, from that corner to this corner is also a diagonal. A swimmer has to swim diagonally. The swimmer has to swim diagonally. What is the distance the swimmer will have to cover? We have to find out how much distance is this. What is the value of this length? Or in our case, as it is a 90 degree angle, the opposite length is called hypotenuse, right? So we are going to consider this triangle to find out the value of this diagonal. Now, hypotenuse square, I'll say h square is equals to 20 square plus 50 square. H square is equals to 20 into 20 is 400 plus 15 to 50 is 2500. Now h square is equals to 2900. Now in order to find the value of h, I need to apply square root on both sides. H is equals to, let's see what is the value, 2900, it's 53.85 meters. The hypotenuse in this case is 53.85 meter, that is this diagonal. I hope it is clear. Let's talk about converse of a Pythagoras theorem. Now, Pythagoras theorem says that if I have a right angle triangle, the length opposite to the right angle is hypotenuse and it is the longest length. Suppose this is C, this is A and this is B, which means C squared, hypotenuse squared is equals to, according to theorem, C square is equals to sum of the legs, the other two legs squared, which is A square plus B square. This is our Pythagoras theorem. Now the converse should also be true. How is it done? Suppose we have three lengths given. Length A is equals to 9 centimeter, length B is equals to 12 centimeter and length C is equals to 15 centimeter. Suppose I have been given these three lengths and I have been asked whether these three lengths are of a right angle triangle or not. क्या ये एक right angle triangle की length है या ये किसी normal triangle की length है? What I am going to do is I am going to use this formula and I am going to put the values. Now the formula says C square is equals to A square plus B square. In this portion C square, on the left hand side of equals to, I am going to put the longest value, the longest length, that is 15 centimeter, the largest value, the longest length, because it is supposed to be hypotenuse, right? So what I am going to do is I am going to put 15 square here and equals to A square, that is 9 square plus 12 square. The converse says इस इक्वेशन के अंदर अगर मैं ये वैल्यूज पुट कर दूं इन राइट ऑर्डर एंड बोथ इक्वल्स टू के जो दोनों हैंड्स है राइट हैंड साइड एंड राइट हैंड साइड, if they are going to satisfy this equation, if they have the same value in the end, that means कि yes, these lengths are of a right angle triangle. How to calculate it? Let's see. 15 square is 225. The left hand side says 225. So the right hand side should also be 225. Let's see. 9 square is 81 plus 12 square is 144. So 225 is equals to 81 plus 144, that is 225. Yes, both the sides are equal. So if they are, these three values are validating this equation for us, this means that these three lengths are basically of a right angle triangle. This is called converse of a triangle, which means कि अगर हमें कोई थ्री लेंथ्स दे दी जाए, हमने उसको इक्वेशन में जो पाइथागोरस थ्योरम की इक्वेशन है उसमें सब्स्टिट्यूट करना है, and we have to see whether the left hand side and right hand side are equal or not. If they are equal, that means that they are the lengths of a right angle triangle. I hope it is clear. Now, we'll meet you in the next video with another topic. Till then, take care.